Austin 316 says I just whipped your... You sit there and call yourself the gorilla, yet you hee-haw out here like a jackass. What? I said shut up. You can kiss my ass.
Kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya.
What? And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
Welcome to the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast, the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin, and this week is episode 75, and it's Sinister Stipulations from February of 2001. I'm Mike Crew, along with JV. As always, JV, how you doing?
What's up?
Oh, little Dudley Boys action. Oh, Budweiser action.
I was thinking more Budweiser.
Oh, the Bud Heavies that we talked about last week.
Yeah.
All right.
Remember
so,
when that was a thing?
Yeah.
What's up? That was
a big thing. I think they did it like way after too, though. Isn't it? Like, I remember it being way earlier. By the time the Dudleys did it, I was like, that sucks now. That's not even cool.
I think
it might have been
earlier.
might have been close to it, but already played out by then.
I feel like it was more like I was in like 8th grade, 9th grade, or sophomore year. Which
Right.
would have been before all this.
Right, a couple of years. Yeah, usually WWE or WWF at the time is just a little bit behind on the pop culture.
Yeah. They're not trailblazing.
Yeah. All right, so anyway, guys, we're back at it with the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin. We're breaking down his career each and every week here in a chronological order, and not pay-per-view by pay-per-view, but, we just go slowly throughout it because we want to soak it all in and enjoy the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin. So we're bringing at you now another segment from February 2001 where Stone Cold and Triple H are still at it. Last week we talked about cat and mouse games where they can't hit each other, and now this week it's going to be, what is the stipulation for their big match going to be at No Way Out? So before we get into all that, I do want to say, before I even get into the plugs of where you can find us at on Twitter, I do want to give JV a happy birthday because his birthday is this past week. So happy birthday to JV. He's grown up.
Thanks, man.
He's all grown up.
Feels good to
You're
be
welcome.
26.
Yeah. 26, eh? Think back to when you're
safe with me, eh?
Yeah, think back to when you're 26 and how much you thought you knew, and then give it some more years and realize how much you didn't know. That's what I like to tell students from time to time too. It's like, you may think you know a lot right now, but look back at yourself in about 10 years and you'll see how much you didn't know.
I look back like 2 years ago. I'm like, man.
Yeah. Right.
I was a moron.
Yeah, that's the thing. We never stop learning. And for all you listeners out there, hey, hopefully we're helping you learn a little bit more about the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin as we move on in this journey here on the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast. All right, so if you want to follow us on Twitter, you can follow us at Bottom Line Cast. And I was surprised this morning that there was a new follow, and I'm not going to be too excited about it because I realized a lot of people were added by this person and followed by this person today on Twitter. And that was Sergeant Slaughter, had just gone on like a following campaign on Twitter. And he has the little star or whatever, or the check mark, whatever it is on Twitter.
Star?
Star, whatever the
kind
fuck.
Of Twitter you using?
Bootleg. Twatter.
Yeah, you got the bootleg star.
So anyway,
Sergeant
Slaughter. I had to make sure I don't put my accent out there too much. Slaughter. But Sergeant Slaughter. Sergeant Slaughter added us, followed us, and yeah, like I said, I don't know how much that means because basically it might be a robot Sergeant Slaughter that's adding a bunch of people.
Robo Slaughter.
So anyway, you can follow us at Bottom Line Cast there. You can follow me, Mike Prue, at MPRU83, and follow JV at John Van Damage, and give him a nice happy birthday this week at John Van Damage. You can also follow
Hey,
our...
real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick while we're on Twitter, who's your most famous follower?
Fuck, I don't really have one. I don't...
Oh,
if there anybody
loser.
as famous.
Well, John Cena follows me.
Yeah, John Cena.
Not a big deal. Yeah, listeners of the Bottom Line Cast maybe didn't know, but John Cena and I are friends. I have access to his DMs.
Oh, you can message him.
Yeah, he follows me. I follow him, you know.
Buddy. Massachusetts boys.
Yeah. I can't see him, but I can follow him.
That's a good one.
Right, but back to your plugs here. Sorry about that.
All right, so also you can follow JV and Mike Brew here, along with, sure, you can follow John Cena on YouTube. And we have finally been brought out to the YouTube world. We have a YouTube channel, and this week has been a big bump. I don't know what the hell happened, but our latest episode had over 100 listens on YouTube. And for us, that's fucking amazing because we usually get like 8 or something, you know. We only have 17 subscribers. Last week was 13. We're up to 17 now. But for whatever reason, we had over 100 listens on the Cat and Mouse episode. So that was pretty cool. So if you want to follow us on the YouTube channel, subscribe to us there. Go ahead and do that. Some people might like to listen on YouTube. Might be more convenient to you if you don't have a podcast app or catcher, whatever you want to call it. So you can check us out on YouTube. But if you also want to interact with us in another way, in a private way, really, as opposed to Twitter, you can follow us and join the Facebook group, Bottom Line Wrestling Cast. So that group's been growing over the past couple of weeks, and good group of people there. And we wanted to continue to grow and keep the chatter about the episodes and talk about Stone Cold Steve Austin, talk about wrestling in general. So you can do that at Bottom Line Wrestling Cast at the Facebook group. And also, if you really want to, if you're so inclined, you can talk to Duke the Dumpster Drosy. Mike Drosy is part of the Facebook group, and he's very active. If you mention him, he'll talk to you. So if you ever want
he's
to
very
talk
personable.
to Duke,
Really cool. Really down to earth.
Yeah.
You know,
so,
for a famous guy, you know. He's famous.
Yeah. If I know him, he's famous.
Yeah. I consider him famous.
He's as famous as anybody else from 1995 WWF.
Yeah.
Which is what we talked about on our last episode that was released, which is the bonus episode that was hosted by Jay Free from Free Your Geek. We did a monthly bonus and he's our special host for those. And we covered WWF in 1995, and JV, I thought that was a good time. What'd you think of that?
Oh, I thought it was fun.
Yeah,
definitely. Thought it was. I think we're trending in the right direction with that whole format. I think our chemistry's getting pretty solid.
Yeah,
something I look forward to actually record now.
Right, it's a change of pace. It's something different than obviously what we do here, and this is our focus here on Bottom Line Wrestling Cast is Stone Cold Steve Austin. So even though we love Stone Cold Steve Austin and we love to cover this, it's always nice to have a change of pace. So if once a month we get to talk about something different, then yeah, I can understand why I'd be like, yeah, I look forward to that. Just like anything. It's like if you ate I love pizza, but if I ate it every fucking day, I eventually I'm going to want soup and think soup's fucking awesome. So
yeah.
WWF 1995 was awesome this past week. But I know where our bread and butter is at, though, and that's at Stone Cold Steve Austin right now. And yeah, so we do enjoy those, and maybe that might be a format change going forward. Who knows what the fuck's going to happen in the future? We are going to continue those monthly, but you know, we like mixing it up like that. So some people have already asked, like, what are you going to do in the future? Well, maybe that's kind of the thing that we would do in the future if we do anything in the future. You know, and that's down the road because we still probably have at least a year of Stone Cold Steve Austin. left to do here. Yeah. And it's some good shit left with Stone Cold Steve Austin as we go into 2001. Some crap, but some good stuff. Some comedic stuff, which is I can't wait to get into later in 2001. But with that said, let's get back to this episode 75, Sinister Stipulations, February 2001, where we left off on Cat and Mouse. Basically, Stone Cold Steve Austin screwed Triple H once again out of the championship. Triple H wiggled his way into a match on the last SmackDown against Kurt Angle and The Rock. It was supposed to be Kurt Angle versus The Rock. The Rock earned his title shot. He had to win that spot to be in that match, and he got it. But Triple H was able to get his way into that match because of Stephanie McMahon talked Vince into it because she basically used Trish and her mother's situation as a way to say, well, you need to get my husband in the match or I'm not going to be happy. That kind of bullshit. So Vince allows it and you get this triple threat match, and Austin screws Triple H at the end of that match. And Kurt Angle retains the title once again. And that's where we left off on Cat and Mouse last week. So that'll bring us now to Raw 402. And I was right last week when I was talking about how, shit, I might be off one number. And I was.
No, we're not perfect. You lied.
So something got fucked up, whatever, I don't know. But this is episode 402, and like I said last week, it doesn't really matter anyway because the numbers don't show up on the network. So I guess it really doesn't mean shit anymore. But because that's how I write my notes, I'm going to say the number of the episode because I'm keeping track now. And I'll try not to screw up again.
It's like that Tom Hanks movie. I'm the captain now.
I'm the captain now. I read these numbers now. All right, and that is Raw 402 from February 5th, 2001. It's live, and it's from a huge arena. It's from the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, Georgia. And we start off with a Rock promo. And as I was going through this, I was like, all right, I don't want to play, we're not going to play the Rock promos. And, it's just a slap in the face every week now at this point. January, February, going to be into March, that The Rock's going to cut the best promos that he ever cut before in his life.
Because you left them off your top 10 list.
I left him off my top 10 for the OVP rankings.
Imagine hosting a wrestling podcast and not having The Rock in your top 10 list of really anything. Except something else, which we'll get to later in the episode.
Oh, okay. Well, because of this show, because of our coverage of it, since we've been covering his career up to this point, I almost neglect everything else because I'm just following his career at this point, and my first instincts are to say, it's okay, it's okay. It's saying some of the same shit over and over again, but now he's turning it up even more. It's like, fuck, I'm wrong.
You just wanted to sound interesting.
Yeah.
You just wanted to be that guy that didn't have The Rock on your list.
No, fucking smart ass. Snarky smark. But anyway, The Rock is on a roll here, and he's going to start off the show. And he arrives. He's all pissed off because he just got screwed out of the title in his mind. So while Triple H may have gotten into that match, as I said moments ago, The Rock was actually in that match too, and he was trying to win the title. And it was his match that he earned, but Triple H got brought into it, and he's pissed off that Stone Cold got involved in the match. He's not pissed at Stone Cold, but he's just pissed in general because he got screwed out of the title. That was his shot. Triple H got thrown into it, and because Triple H is now involved in that match, Stone Cold, who has issues with Triple H, gets involved in that match too. So The Rock's basically saying, I understand why you got involved in that match, but you screwed me too, inadvertently. So The Rock says, you can play games on everyone else's time. He's talking to Triple H at this point. You can play games with everybody else. You can play games with your father-in-law. You can play games with your wife. You can play games with your mother in Greenwich, Connecticut. And you can then he has this nice little comment here. You can kick out all the sailors and the circus midgets that have been having their way with her all damn night. It goes back to something I said just the past week. Yeah, last week when I admitted shit I was wrong and I broke down one of his promos. he has this routine, and it's a damn solid routine where he works in different factors, and then he makes sure he gets like the outrageous comedic spot. And that was the outrageous here, where he has to say, "We kick out all the sailors and a circus midgets." Like, that's not reality, but that's enough to get somebody's attention and be like, "What the fuck is he talking about?" But it's funny. Sailors and circus midgets are in the house banging the other. Like, what the fuck's going on? It wakes everybody up. So if they weren't paying attention, that got their attention. They start laughing again. And then he brings it back. He says, "I challenge Triple H to have a match with them tonight, and whoever wins that match will be the number one contender." So, good little setup there. The Rock tells Triple H to get out here and bring his hood rat trick of a wife. Hood rat. It always reminds
me. Hood rat stuff for my friends.
Yeah, that exactly. It reminds me of that YouTube video, that viral video. "I was just doing hood rat shit with my friends. That's why I stole my grandma's car. Doing hood rat shit." So The Rock calls Triple H's wife Stephanie a hood rat, and Stephanie's not gonna deal with that. So she comes on out, and she comes out to Triple H's old theme. So she gets recycled music for her entrance, which is a damn good song. I like the My Time entrance music. So she comes out there and she's bitching. She does her typical thing. "Who the hell do you think you are, Rocky?" I like that, though, when she said Rocky. It's just like a little dig. Like, fuck you.
Dig, yeah.
You're not the Rock.
When the fans hated him.
Right, you're Rocky. And then this is a great line. Because they're in Atlanta, Georgia. They're at the Georgia Dome. The Rock says to her, "Hey, why are you so mad? Is it because you get more balls thrown at you than Chipper Jones at batting practice?"
I love that line.
And the look on her face right away is amazing. And my first thought, though, right away is like, she doesn't know who the fuck Chipper Jones is. So she's acting. So the look on her face is priceless. Or maybe she just knows what balls thrown in the face means.
Yeah.
But either way, she has improved.
She gets the innuendo.
Right, she gets it. Yeah, I don't need to know who Chipper Jones is, but I know what balls in my face means. Legitimate. All right, so from there, Triple H heads on out now. "You're not going to talk to my wife that way," basically. He says they have a championship match on Thursday. Because they have that championship match on Thursday, "I'm the man that's been kicking your ass since you got here. I'm the best in the business. I earned my shot at the title. I got my shot Thursday night, and I was moments away from becoming a 5-time WWF champion. And I was screwed by Stone Cold Steve Austin. Not you, Rock. Austin screwed me." 5-time champion he would have been at that point.
Yeah, what baffles me, because I remember like maybe 7 years prior, was it, when Hogan was a 5-time champion?
Right. Like
that was like a big deal. Yeah, and he's been around really for like
a year.
4 or 5 years. Triple H, no, because he was around, but
no, but as a world champion.
Oh yeah. All right, that makes it even worse when I realize like the short window in which he accumulated,
right, we're talking
4 reigns is
99.
ridiculous.
Yeah, 99 to 2001, and we're barely into 2001 at this point. And he hasn't been the champion at all in 2001, so it's really just 99 into 2000. That's it. 4 reigns within that year. Granted,
crazy.
2000 is his year. That's his big year. But the fact that they would change the titles that many times within that year, that's crazy. It's like the IC title. Just keeps flip-flopping. So from there, he goes on to say, "Since I can't kick Austin's ass, I'd like nothing more to kick yours. Be careful what you wish for. It's time to play the game." So, Triple H, he was so just looking to have that catchphrase to be the game, so that he could use it in his promos and try to sell T-shirts with it and shit. And I guess it worked to an extent, but anyway, he drops the mic there. Kurt Angle's music hits, and Kurt Angle comes on out, and Kurt's pissed off, and I could totally understand. Kurt Angle just retained this title again. He's been the champion for about 5 months, almost 5 months at this point, and these guys are arguing about, oh, I should be the champion. Oh, I would have won if it wasn't for Austin. You know, if you weren't in this match, I would have won. And he's like, what the fuck? I'm the champion. I won. You guys can't beat me. And he even says, let me just say this very slowly, so even the two of you can understand. Neither, when he says neither, he gives the hand swipe, like no. Neither of you, when he says of you, he points at them. Neither of you can beat, and then he does the 3 count motion. 1, 2, 3, can beat me, and he points at his chest. I was like, that's fucking awesome.
This is a great, bro. This is better than anything Triple H has done up to this point. Like, Kurt Angle is easily like the number 3 on the WWE roster right now,
if not higher.
It's not higher. Yeah, he might even be, because Stone Cold's still kind of getting back into the groove.
It's Stone
Rock's
Cold
kind of firing on all cylinders.
And Stone Cold stuff is kind of like, we're used to it already. So it's like, Angle might be 2 or even 1, where The Rock might be on the rise at this point. I mean, obviously he's got the whole crowd, but this, because the crowd.
You know what I mean, though.
You're right,
and I agree with you.
Angle's
you could
right
argue
there.
He's number 1 right now,
right?
Because his character's new, it's refreshing, and he's been doing it for months.
Right.
He somehow is still keeping this. He's still keeping the title, and B, he's still remaining interesting. Where even though he's a heel, he's heel enough to the point. He's such a good heel that people like him and boo him.
Right.
He's not like heel to the point where they start turning him into like a good guy, and they start cheering for him. You know what I mean?
Right. He's in the middle still, where shit, it's like, oh shit, this guy's kind of cool.
You appreciate booing him though, because it's like, I don't know. He's fucking. I guess I really kind of forgot how good Angle was of the journey we've done for Stone Cold now over the past five years now.
Yep.
Angle has impressed me the most. I've been more shocked at how great of like any other wrestler on the roster, like how great Angle was. Like I forgot how much of a hit he was. Like not right out the gate, but pretty damn quickly. Yeah, I'd give it to him right out the gate.
And sadly, we missed most of 2000 because we didn't cover a lot of it. So we missed almost a whole year of probably good shit.
And he still has more good shit to come. He's like another year from now. His character's still developing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So after Kurt Angle cuts that little funny part of the promo, I did have to take note that Triple H looks like he's really about to laugh when it's being said. And it could be pawned off as like Triple H smirking like, yeah, right, buddy, fuck you. But I really think Triple H thought that was funny with Angle, saying, no, you can't beat me, pointing at his chest, pointing at them, doing the 1, 2, 3 count. I really think Triple H got a kick out of that and almost had to hold in his laugh like he was Jimmy Fallon from Saturday Night Live, trying not to break during a skit. So, oh man, Kurt Angle just so good. So anyway, Kurt Angle does say, WrestleMania is set. Stone Cold Steve Austin will face the Olympic gold medalist, Kurt Angle. And like the popular song says, whoop, there it is. It's as simple as that. And that's another great thing about Angle, is that he is just so cheesy too as the heel, that he would say something like that. Whoop, there it is. Just like that. Whoop, there it is. It's almost like your dad or your lame teacher that's trying to be young and hip saying something to the kids.
That's a better comparison.
So from there, Angle says, if they want to have a match to see who will lose to him, then go right ahead. But he wants them to get it over with quickly, because basically they're boring him to death. And it's true. It's damn true. And then from there, Vince McMahon heads on out. And we get the asshole chance right away from there. And this is right around the time that it's just a week after the XFL debuted. And Vince says to the Atlanta crowd, "Be nice to me or you won't get a future XFL franchise." And I did have to look. I was like, okay, was there one? Was there one in the reboot? And there wasn't one. So Vince McMahon is pissed at Atlanta. They did not get their franchise after all. And then Vince goes on to say, "In the interest of fairness," which is his quote of the time here in early 2001, because he's such a fair man at this time. So in the interest of fairness, and The Rock doesn't want to hear it. The Rock cuts him off right away. He says he doesn't want to hear another 20-minute speech. He just wants to know who has Triple H in the ring tonight. The Rock also says he will take one of those new red and black XFL footballs and shove it right up his candy ass. Did you have a red and black XFL football?
No.
No.
Did you?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure I didn't.
I know someone that had one.
I know I touched one before, and I feel like we played with one before.
I probably grabbed one in a Walmart or something.
Yeah, maybe. But the one thing I did want to bring up, because it reminded me of the other footballs that were so rampant in the late 90s, maybe more than mid-90s, but they were the mini footballs that were just like those XFL footballs, those hard fucking balls, like you tank off somebody's head. Fucking,
yeah, they were like plastic, not rubber.
Right. And they had a whole NFL series of them. It'd be like every team had one. It was like that typical 90s style. Do you remember those little mini footballs? All the team logos? Yeah, that's what it reminded me of.
Those were rubber, though, because we used to use them in the schoolyard. It was like easier to bring to school than a full-sized football.
Yeah, they were smaller. Yeah.
Yep.
I was trying to look up when I was doing the notes, like who made those.
Was it by Riddle?
Yes, Rydell.
The same company that made the helmets, Rydell or something?
Rydell or Riddle, yeah. Riddell?
Yeah.
Yeah, they used to make the NFL helmets at the time. Yeah.
I'm Googling it right now.
But anyway, it just reminded me of that.
As you go on. Yeah.
So anyway, from there we move on. Kurt Angle's going to kiss McMahon's ass and says that, Vince has always been fair, so he's just sucking up some more. Vince says Triple H and The Rock will go at it, but Triple H will team up with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now that's a fucking shocker. So they do bring up that there'll be no physical contact between them, and if there is any, it doesn't matter who starts it. They will both face their established punishments. So remember, the punishments that we talked about last week was that Triple H would get a 6-month suspension and Stone Cold would lose his WrestleMania title shot. The Rock is going to have Kurt Angle as his partner. So it's going to be Triple H, Stone Cold Steve Austin up against Kurt Angle and The Rock. Well, that's going to shake things up. That's a way to screw everything up. It's almost like Vince McMahon doesn't want things to go down the way they are. So from there, we move on to a quick little interview with Stone Cold Steve Austin with Kevin Kelly. And it wasn't really enough for me to go with a audio clip here because it wasn't that much. So Kevin Kelly's going to ask Stone Cold about the match tonight. Austin can't believe that he's going to team with Triple H. Kevin Kelly, hard-hitting Kevin Kelly, tells him that Vince McMahon ordered it. And then Austin responds, well, we'll see about that. And he walks off. So nothing funny, nothing great about it. But that happens there at the 38-minute mark on the episode of Raw. And then we go backstage, and Austin is going to confront Mr. McMahon about that. And we'll take a listen to that. And we'll be right back.
Hey! I mean, it's hot. It is hot.
You know, it is hot in here.
You think it's hot?
Yeah.
You should take your jacket off then.
Well, thank you very much. I feel better already.
Just by doing that? So what's with Steph? I mean, really. Making uncalled for accusations, blah, blah, blah. It's like jumping to conclusions.
Well, Stephanie will jump to conclusions. Talk about it.
Hey, man. What's going on?
Now, listen, if this is about the match tonight, I mean, I really thought that in the interest of fairness, that you and Triple H teaming
I
up.
love the match. It's not about the match.
What?
Came to check on you.
You love the match.
Love it.
Well, I just didn't want you to think I was trying to screw you. Okay?
You trying to screw me tonight? Vince, it's pretty obvious you're trying to screw somebody else.
All right, so backstage, Vince McMahon is with Trish, and they're talking about how hot it is. So, as we've talked about, they have their ongoing little love tryst going on, and all their segments are filled with sexual innuendo. So that's what happens there. And then Stone Cold walks in on both of them. Vince is scared that Austin is pissed off about the tag team match that's later on in the night. Vince claims that in the interest of fairness, then Austin cuts him off also, just like The Rock did earlier. Austin says, he has no problem with it. I have no problem with this, Vince. And then Vince says he just doesn't want Austin to think he's trying to screw with him. Then Austin responds, the nice line here, Vince, it's pretty obvious you're trying to screw somebody else. Working in Austin working in the little sex there. So pretty cool there. And then we move on to another backstage segment. It's Kurt Angle and The Rock. And Kurt Angle is going to bump into S.A. Rios, which was something we'll talk about in an Attitude Era update. And he congratulates him for still being in the company. Kurt Angle wants to know where The Rock is. S.A. Rios doesn't know, doesn't give a shit. So eventually Kurt Angle finds him. Angle talks to The Rock about their match and that Triple H and Austin will have problems, but they won't have any issues in this match. Kurt says he will talk to Vince McMahon into giving The Rock another number one contenders match. The Rock says he will make Kurt Angle very happy tonight, but regardless of what happens, The Rock will take the WWF Championship from him. There won't be a damn thing he can do about it. Now, also backstage, Stephanie McMahon is concerned with Austin's intentions. Stephanie thinks that Austin is way too calm for what's going on, and he's just acting strange. He's not himself. She doesn't trust his behavior. She thinks Austin is willing to throw his WrestleMania title match away just to get Triple H suspended for 6 months. And I would say, no fucking way. Austin only cares about the WWF Championship. That's all he's ever said, is that that's why he's there. And if you're not there to be the champion, then why the hell are you there? So he doesn't care that much about Triple H to get him suspended. So Stephanie's all wrong there, but that's what they portrayed to us in that segment. Stephanie says that she and Triple H think there should be a special stipulation for the No Way Out match. Which brings us to the heart of this episode is, what the hell is this stipulation going to be? And Vince tells Stephanie that he's had enough of her and wants her to get the hell out of there and tell Triple H to calm down. So now like I said, we get to the crux of the episode, and it's that stipulation. What is the stipulation for No Way Out going to be? Now we go to another audio clip, and it's also backstage. It's Triple H and Stone Cold. So take a listen to that. We'll be right back.
Honey, you've got to calm down,
I
okay?
don't want to calm down. What did Vince say about the stipulations?
Dad didn't want to know anything about the stipulation, okay? He said for me to calm down and for you to calm down. Think about the 6-month suspension, okay?
Think about it.
All right, partner. Put her there. We got to get hell of a tag team match. Anyway, good luck. Nice hair, Steph.
All right, so Stephanie tells Triple H that Vince said to calm down and didn't listen to her about the stipulation for the No Way Out match. And Austin walks in there. He wants a handshake from Triple H. He said, put it there, partner. And Triple H refuses. Austin smacks Triple H on the arm, which is going to be a theme in the next match coming up here, is the slap on the arm. So Austin does that there, and then he walks out, and this is the main reason why I wanted this clip to be played. So I just love how at the end he just walks out in his nonchalant way, like he's such a nice guy. Like Austin's comedic approach when he's not being a badass, but just trying to be like, hey, I'm a nice guy.
Yeah.
He's like, hey,
More like a wise ass.
right? He's being a wise ass. He says, nice hair, Steph. Then she's like looking around, like, the fuck's he talking about? Just giving her a nice little compliment, almost in the way like where it could be nice hair. You might mean it, but he also might be saying nice hair as if your hair sucks. And you don't know how to take it. I felt like that many times in my life. Either is this a fucking compliment or a fucking jab?
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking cocky bastard. Sarcastic.
Right. Yeah.
I hate that. And we grew up with friends where it was like that was part of the humor in it all. So
right.
now when like ever I get a comment from someone I don't know, I just get like trauma from when I was like 11 at like the park. Yeah. Like, you really mean that? You really like my new haircut? You really like my new jacket?
It's funny though, because at that time, what you're talking about, when we used to be hanging out with each other and people would say shit like that, that was a common joke, typical joke at the time. The response was always "fuck you."
Yeah, it was always. Hey, nice haircut. Fuck you. Like that's how we took compliments. Even to this day, that's what I think in my head I want to say.
Hey, that looks nice. Fuck you. You making fun of me? Yeah.
I remember one time at work years ago when I first started working at the job I had, same company, and this guy, my head was shaved. It was when I shaved my head.
Yeah.
And this guy was like, "Oh, hey, Johnny V, shaved head looks good." And I legitimately said I didn't like the guy anyway, and I thought he was being sarcastic. I was like, "Yeah, fuck you, buddy." Like right in the middle of the office, mad loud in front of like multiple cubes. And he looked at me like, whoa, like, what's your problem? And then the guy, we never really talked to each other. In my head, I always think of like, I think he meant it. And I didn't like the guy, and I was just being like a dick. He was like a manager or something, another department. I never liked the guy. But I think he was being genuine. I was just like, yeah, something like, I think I either said like, fuck you or go fuck yourself. Like something like that. I dropped the F-bomb though.
Hey, for your listeners throughout the country and other parts of the world, there is something about Northeasterners in the United States where we're always on the defensive. So,
yeah, massholes.
Yeah, we're massholes, and we always think somebody's out to get us, and
yeah.
So generally, we put up a wall.
Yeah.
Especially at work, though. In that situation, I can understand that, where you thought that guy was a prick, and he probably was a prick a couple times before. It's like, oh, you're going to talk about the way I look? Fuck you.
And I'm always like nice at work. I'm like, reputation is like a nice guy. I don't really like, start shit. And I remember people heard me say it and they were like, holy shit, like Johnny V must be pissed.
Oh, man. That's great. All right, so let's move on to this big match coming up here. And it's the main event of this episode of Raw. It's a no DQ match. They just throw that in there last minute, I think. No DQ. Stone Cold Steve Austin, Triple H against The Rock and Kurt Angle. This match kicks off at 1 hour, 26 minutes, and it goes to the end of the show. We get a quick little preview of what's to come for Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H over the past few months and their whole build-up to this segment here. And Austin is the last to make his entrance, and he gets into the ring, and he hits all the corners, goes to the second rope, and does his thing. And Kurt Angle is going to attack him right away. And actually, no, I got that wrong. Sorry. Stone Cold's going to attack Kurt Angle right from there. And then we get going there. So Austin is going to fight back right away, though, and hit the Lou Thesz press and do his typical routine. Then Austin's going to whack Triple H on the arm for a tag. So that's how they're tagging with each other. And that's the tension building in this match. It's Triple H and Stone Cold. And they need to not have a confrontation. So it starts off right there to build tension is Austin whacks Triple H on the arm. From there, Triple H starts to argue with Stone Cold about that tag. Meanwhile, Kurt Angle is in the ring. He tags in The Rock and sneaks up behind Triple H as he argues with Austin. And Triple H turns around and The Rock starts to wail on him. Triple H and The Rock go at it for a bit. Rock is ready to hit the rock bottom on Triple H, but Kurt Angle slaps himself into the match, which pisses off The Rock, and The Rock even knocks out Kurt Angle. So Triple H handles Kurt Angle for a moment and then slaps Austin's arm for a tag and tells him, get his ass. So he's trying to pressure him into doing whatever he's supposed to be doing. Triple H is trying to be the leader here. So we get great tension between both teams at this point, which is a nice little setup. And Austin hits the spine buster on Angle, does a hip toss out of the ring. They go at it for a moment. The Rock is setting up for a clothesline on Triple H. But Angle slides into the ring and clotheslines The Rock from behind. And then, well, it's the Big Show. Right out of nowhere, we got this star-studded match going on, and Big Show is going to head on out in the middle of the match. And Angle smiles. He's happy about this because he thinks Big Show's on his side. So Angle smiles and tosses The Rock out of the ring. The Rock and Big Show had some altercation at the Royal Rumble, so they have some unfinished business to deal with there. So Big Show goes after The Rock and nails the final cut on The Rock on the outside of the ring. Big Show walks off. Inside the ring, Austin nails Angle, tosses him out of the ring. Triple H slams Angle's head onto the announce booth. And then from there, Triple H and Stone Cold take turns slamming Angle on the booth. And I thought that was a cool spot. They're just going back and forth with Angle's head. Working as a team here. And I always say, when Stone Cold's in a tag team match, he likes to work as a tag team wrestler generally. So he can't help himself here. And they're going back and forth as a tag team, slamming Angle's head on the booth. Pretty cool spot. The Rock gets brought back to the backstage area by the ring officials, or the referees, and the backstage guys, whoever the fuck they are, all different. And they bring The Rock back there. Earl Hebner, who's the referee, tells Austin to get out of the ring because he's not the legal man. And they just said less than a minute ago, and I said when we first started this match, that this is a no DQ match. And also, the Big Show just attacked The Rock, and The Rock had to be brought backstage. But why the fuck is Earl Hebner telling Austin to get out of the ring because he's not the legal man? What the hell is a legal man in a no DQ match? That's what they're going to be strict with in a no DQ match, is that there has to be a legal man? That's bullshit. That's fucking idiotic. Ugh.
I agree. I thought the same thing. Especially because he says this is a no DQ, and then it's just like legitimately like a few moments before that, and then it's, I don't know.
Right, so
it wasn't operating as such, being officiated as such.
I mean, I guess Earl could say that if he wants to. Earl could say, get out of the ring. But Austin could say, go fuck yourself. Stun his ass.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he didn't want to stun him because he wants to get a pinfall, but he can fucking say, shut the fuck up and make the cover. And then what's Earl going to do? Not cover? He has to cover. You can't disqualify him. So yeah, another fuck up. And it's always during these Earl Hebner matches. And it's always in a spot where Earl tries to be like big boss man. Oh, you get out of the ring. You're not the legal man. I mean, I swear, it's always just he doesn't know what the rules are to these matches. He just knows the finish. He knows what the finish is going to be, and he's going to do that right. But throughout the rest of the match, he's not going to care about what the other stipulations are. It's just like, oh, yeah, it doesn't matter that it's a no DQ match. I'm just going to follow regular rules, and then when it comes to the end, I'll know to do that right.
It's like, did you get the itinerary for this match, buddy?
Right. Did you read the damn script? Did you sit in the meetings? I doubt it. That's why he's fucking selling t-shirts and getting fired in a couple of years.
True.
Ugh. All right, anyway. There's my Earl segment. Hopefully there's not more.
Here's my Earl segment.
All right, so anyway, so let's move on. Angle whips Triple H into the ropes. Austin presses down on the ropes. That causes Triple H to fall out of the ropes. I like that spot because Austin is acting like he's He's on the corner, and he's just like pulling on the ropes, like he has his feet on the bottom rope and pulling on the top rope, which you could see people doing. People don't generally do that when they're on the outside, but I guess that happens here and there. And when Triple H gets whipped into the corner, Austin has the rope down, so that causes Triple H to go flying out of the ring. And that creates even more tension because Triple H will think that Austin did it on purpose, and Austin acts like he didn't do it on purpose. So I like that spot. That's pretty cool. Funny spot. Austin then walks from there to the opposite corner while Triple H is back in the ring. So just moments later, Triple H is back in the ring, and he's trying to make a tag, but Austin had walked to the separate side of the ring. So Austin's fucking with Triple H basically at this point. So Austin's on the opposite side, sticking his hand out and just making Triple H stay in the ring longer than he had to. And Angle is going to grab Triple H, nail him with a suplex. Austin yells for Triple H, come on, Triple H, come on. Like, just being a jerk off, basically. It's like he's trying to help him, but he knows he's not helping him. It's just he's fucking with him. Yeah,
it's like totally fucking with him. Not the way you treat someone you like or you're trying to get along with.
No. But that's the whole storyline here, is that he wants to be able to get him injured and fuck with him without actually doing anything to him. So it's all well planned out. I like it. So from there we go. Kurt Angle grabs a chair. Earl Hebner notices Austin attempting to get in the ring at that point. So Earl starts to yell at Austin again. So a continuation of what I was just talking about and ranting about. And Angle swings and misses the chair. He misses with that chair shot. Triple H hits the pedigree on Angle. Austin then gets in the ring. Then Earl starts yelling at Austin again instead of making the 3 count. So you have somebody down and out. Pedigree is just nailed onto Angle by Triple H. Austin tries to get in the ring and Earl doesn't do his job. He doesn't make a 3 count. He has to stop Austin. Here we go again. Same old shit, dog, just different day.
Different day.
So Triple H starts to argue with Austin because Austin tried to get in the match and screwed up getting the pinfall, even though it's all fucking Earl Hebner's fault because he shouldn't even be worrying about Austin. He should just be making a 3 count because it's a no DQ match. So Triple H should be kicking Earl Hebner's ass, not worrying about Stone Cold. Austin pegs off Triple H. Triple H swings. Austin ducks. Austin pegs off Triple H. I thought that was funny. So, they got heated at this point. But the anger, like my anger, should be going to Earl. They both should have just fucked him up. Kick him in the gut, stun his ass, pick him up, pedigree, drink beers, and pour him on him, and then roll his ass out of the ring. That would have been a great finish for the show.
I agree.
Maybe in a couple of months something like that will happen when the 2-man power trip is built, but we'll get to that down the road. So anyway, that's how that ends off. Austin acts like he can't believe that they lost. Austin goes on to stun Angle. He drinks his beers, and Austin made the best out of the match that he could. The Rock was out of it because of the Big Show. Triple H had got nailed with the steel chair and got pinned by Angle in the end. But he eventually got stunned, and Austin walks off drinking the beers and one last fuck Earl Hebner in that. So that's how that Raw ends there. And we move on now to SmackDown 76 from February 8th, 2001. And it's from Charleston, South Carolina, and it was taped on February 6th, 2001. We kick off with a promo from Mr. McMahon, and Vince heads down to the ring, and there's a lottery tumbler in the center of the ring, and Vince talks about fairness, as always, and, last Monday, it was not fair for the Big Show to attack The Rock during the tag team match. The Rock was screwed there that the Big Show attacked him. McMahon says they will determine who will face Kurt Angle at No Way Out. So it looks like The Rock will get another number one contenders match, and it will be against the Big Show. Then McMahon turns his attention to Triple H and Austin's confrontation during that tag team match where Triple H swung and missed. And Vince calls that a potential double career suicide. If Triple H were to contact with that punch that he was going for, they both would have been out. Triple H would have lost his career in WWF for 6 months, and Stone Cold would have lost his title shot at WrestleMania.
Title shot.
Yeah. So McMahon says maybe it was his fault to put them so close together in a tag team match, and yeah, that seems about right. But McMahon says that both Stone Cold and Triple H have requested stipulations for their match coming up at No Way Out, and in order to determine those stipulations, Triple H and Stone Cold Steve Austin will have representatives to compete for them. And there's a tumbler in the ring, like I said, to determine who the representatives are. McMahon asked for a volunteer to come up from the crowd. And you think somebody from the crowd is going to be chosen, but that's not going to happen. William Regal heads out with Trish. And they pick the names. Trish actually picks the names. And I do like what's going on with the Vince McMahon and Regal saga going on here, is that Regal is basically being like the wingman for Vince McMahon in a sense, where he's covering, he's being a boy for Vince McMahon. He's covering for Vince's infidelities by acting like he's the one banging the girl that he's banging, so that Stephanie doesn't think that Vince is actually sleeping with Trish, and Regal's trying to say, I'm sleeping with Trish. But Steph's not really buying that, but cool little angle. I like the story where Regal's like, all right, this is my opportunity to kiss his ass and get in my way. Is Vince, I'm going to save your ass.
Yeah, and he also gets, it's a great way. It's a great way to, boost his reputation.
Right. And it's also a great way just to get close to Trish. Like, yeah, you might not like me, but
yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna be around you. And usually relationships are built out of proximity of relation. So the more you see somebody, the more you're around somebody, you begin to become attracted to them. So maybe that's what Regal's going for. Like, if I'm around her enough, she might start to like me. So there's that. So that's pretty funny. And Trish is going to grab the orbs, is what they're called here in the segment, from the tumbler. And Vince tells her, Trish, I do have to say, those orbs look very nice in your hands. So Vince opens the first orb for Austin, and it's the one, Billy Gunn, who's going to be the representative for Triple H. And then for Stone Cold, it's going to be Chris Jericho. And then right before we leave that segment, Regal's going to slap a kiss on Trish. Well, why not? He has to make it look real. So he kisses Trish, and she kind of looks a little shocked. And Vince looks shocked right away, too. He looks pissed at first, but then he quickly smiles. Like, yeah, good. I like it. Vince is so underrated as an actor, I think. I wish he would actually do some real acting. Just to see.
Because that's a good point. He's never been in anything else that wasn't WWE related, right?
Right. And he does a hell of a job. At least in my opinion. All right, and then from there we move on to some backstage segments. It's Triple H mostly, and at 12 minutes into the show, Triple H is pissed off about Jericho having to represent him. And Steph is pissed too because she doesn't believe in the whole Regal and Trish bullshit going on. Then in the next segment that comes about 12 minutes later, Triple H walks in to talk to Billy Gunn as he gets ready for his match. And Triple H is going to ask him a favor. Triple H asks Billy Gunn to lay down for Jericho so he can be the one to pick the stipulations. And based on their prior relationship, Triple H is like, maybe we don't get along now, but, we had a lot of good times. Billy Gunn's like, hey, I got to look out for myself now. I can't help you. So Triple H slaps him on the back and says, okay. And then just a second later, Triple H attacks him with a fire extinguisher and knocks him out. Says, it's better to be with me than against me. And that tink from the fire extinguisher was pretty damn loud.
Yeah, it was.
Sounded pretty damn good.
I tried to watch it again to just kind of see how he hit him, and he does a good job of using his arm, and I think he kind of like makes the sound with his hand or something
Maybe
on
had
the
like
extinguisher to make it sound like it's skin to extinguisher contact. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe he had a ring and like smacked.
Oh yeah. That makes
like that.
I could see that.
Or they could have just added it post production because they could have filmed that segment earlier. Just
True.
added a little clip. But either way, it did sound good and it worked.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, Vince makes the match for Triple H to face Chris Jericho in a non-title match because Triple H injured Billy Gunn. So Triple H has to be in that match now because he injured him. Triple H thought he was going to help himself there, but he screwed himself. So we move on now to Triple H versus Chris Jericho. And what we have in this match really is Eddie Guerrero sneaking out. So Eddie Guerrero is going to come out at the end of the match, and he's trying to get revenge on Chris Jericho because Chris Jericho injured Eddie a few weeks back, and Jericho gets distracted when Eddie comes down, and that's what allows for Triple H to hit the pedigree on Jericho for the win. And then right after that, Stone Cold heads down. This is pretty damn good. There's no audio, so there's no clip to play here. But it is pretty fun to go back and watch. So if you want to go back and watch this on SmackDown, it's 1 hour, 9 minutes, 55 seconds. And Austin comes down. He has a few beers. And Eddie Guerrero is just hiding out in the corner at this point. Austin is going to offer Triple H a beer. Eddie comes near them and motions that he wants a beer. And Austin basically motions him off. I mean, rather Triple H says like, no, I don't want it.
Yeah, like I'm all set.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Yeah, and Austin's like, no, take it. Triple H's like, no. Then Eddie pops out of nowhere. He comes from the corner, and Eddie's like, give me the beer, and Austin waves him off. No. So Eddie's not happy, and then he pokes Austin, and then Austin's like, huh? Oh, and he's basically motioning like, you want this? Oh, here you go. And then nails him with a stunner. So, I just like it. It's because like Eddie Guerrero is supposed to be like this slimy little dude, and that's what he comes off as in this segment where you have these two big stars. Obviously, today we know Eddie as a big star, but at this point in WWF, he's not a big star. And you have Stone Cold and Triple H in the middle of the ring. Stone Cold's trying to give Triple H the beer. Eddie's in the corner, and then he's just gonna pop out of nowhere. Like, as this sleazy dude, like, hey, man, I want some beer. Give me a beer. The fuck? Why can't I have a beer? Give me the fucking beer. And Austin's like, fuck off. Boom, stunner. I just thought it was great. And Eddie...
She sells well. Takes a nice bump with the stunner.
He does.
It's the kind of fluid. He takes it, does the bump, and rolls out of the ring at the same time.
Yep. Oh, great shit. So Triple H tries to walk away from there. Austin grabs him by the arm, swings him around. But then Jericho's still in there at that point. Jericho runs in, grabs Triple H, and puts him in the walls of Jericho. Austin gets in Triple H's face and starts to trash talk him. And then leaves the beer right beside Triple H's head. And then he spills it all over Triple H's head. Now that's going to play into something that'll happen later. So here it is, Austin spilling the beer on Triple H's head at this point. Stephanie is all pissed off. Triple H is covered in beer. And Austin smiles with the beers. And he heads up the ramp there. So Stone Cold gets a little win here against Triple H. And then we go backstage for a moment. Mr. McMahon says he will personally select the representatives for the stipulation match on Raw. So his whole idea for a stipulation match was thrown to shit because Triple H injured Billy Gunn and nothing happened here. Now, that's one thing that I question is how come because Triple H did that, how come his match against Jericho didn't become the stipulation match where if Triple H lost, then he doesn't pick the stipulations. But if Jericho wins, then Austin picks the stipulations. Why not just do that instead of scrapping the whole thing?
Mm-hmm.
And then they're going to do it on Monday instead. So that's what Vince McMahon says. We're just going to do it on Monday. Then he picks 2 new people to do it. Austin's going to be represented by Rikishi, and Triple H will be represented by The Rock. Now, that sounds like a cool match, and that makes sense because Rikishi worked with Triple H to screw Austin out of his career, basically, for a year and a half, almost.
Yep.
So now Rikishi has to fight for Austin, and they've just been rivals. But then The Rock is going to represent Triple H, who they are natural rivals. They've had rivalries going on since 97, 98, as mid-carders for the IC title all the way up to this point. So that works
And
perfectly.
meanwhile, The Rock and Rikishi still have their bad blood.
Right. So The Rock and Rikishi in their match.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
So that all works out. So this episode is kind of like a waste to build to the Raw, essentially. It's kind of how I see it. So that'll now bring us to Raw 403 from February 12th of 2001. This is live from East Rutherford, New Jersey, and it's at the Continental Airlines Arena. And this is another situation like I talked about last week where they didn't want to say East Rutherford, New Jersey in the opening graphic of where they're live from. So they just put Continental Airlines Arena as if that sounds better than East Rutherford, New Jersey.
Sounds way worse.
It does.
But yeah, hey, they have a WrestleMania 29 was technically East Rutherford, New Jersey, and they kept calling it New York City.
Right.
Or
That's what they
WrestleMania
do.
New York.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, it's not even in fucking New York, right? Pretty sure the stadium, MetLife Stadium, is in New Jersey. I'm looking that up.
It's in East Rutherford,
Right
New Jersey.
fucking now.
It's in East
Yeah.
Rutherford. Yeah. It's there. But on the logo, they put NYNJ.
Yeah. It's like, it's not fucking New York. It's not New York at all. It's a totally different state.
Just New Jersey. Fucking accept it.
Yeah.
You want to go to New York, go to fucking Madison Square Garden and stop being assholes.
Fucking, yeah. Put it in New York then.
Right. Bullshit.
Oh, but remember how you, while we're off topic real quick, but it's kind of on topic. We're talking about football now. Those footballs, those mini footballs we talked about earlier in the show.
Yeah.
They were made by Wilson.
Oh, Wilson. Okay.
Wilson and Spalding. They were like 2 different makers.
Oh, and they had the
But
same
I think Wilson
style?
was the one. Yeah, they were like kind of the same style. They would come with like a little tee to kick the ball off of too, if you remember.
Yeah.
I found one on eBay, a Redskins one. And it was by Wilson, so. And I remember it being Wilson now in hindsight. So
Okay. Yeah, I remember the Miami Dolphins one for some reason. And it was like that 90s kind of like splash style where I was like a little bit of green, a little bit of white, a little bit of orange, like on the corners.
I remember the Cowboys one because every kid in the 90s was a
God.
fucking cuck boy. They loved the fucking Cowboys.
Hey, I had a jacket, I had an Emmitt Smith jersey.
Yeah,
grade.
well, like we had this discussion, like that you wore what the fuck your parents bought you. And at the time, licensing was different, so you wouldn't walk into like a fucking J.C. Penney or something, and there'd be a bunch of Patriot shit. It'd usually be like, right, whoever the popular team is would kind of dominate,
right,
sales.
Yeah, no, you're right. All right, so let's get into it. Starts off with a Triple H promo, and as he comes down with Stephanie McMahon, the slut chants begin immediately. And then Triple H gets off track, I think. I really think he goes off track and just starts to talk shit about the people of New Jersey and how they're losers because of the slut chant. Like, he just has free reign. And I think he just decides on his own that, oh yeah, I'm just going to go off on this crowd for calling her a slut. Yeah, that's just my little 2 cents there, but I believe that to be true. So Triple H says he feels, kind of like the same confused look that people have on their face in this New Jersey crowd. He has those same feelings about the stipulation match between The Rock and Rikishi. At that point, the crowd chants for Austin. Triple H says, go ahead and call him. He can't touch me. I do like that. That was a good touch. Just to remind the audience that, yeah, why the fuck's he need to come down here? Can't beat me up. You guys supposed to know these storylines going on here. So, nice little touch there. Triple H doesn't understand why Vince would have The Rock represent Triple H in the match. He doesn't understand that. Well, it doesn't make any sense for any of the people that Vince chose, and that's the whole point, is that he doesn't want somebody that's just on your side to do their best to help you. He wants some kind of fairness. In the interest of fairness, you both need to have somebody that doesn't really care about you representing you, because otherwise they'd be fighting their ass off to help you. So that makes sense to me. So Triple H says he can. What are you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say no. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, they don't really explain that either on commentary. That's what Vince is trying to do. And I was waiting for that because that's the first thing I thought. It's like, that makes sense. And usually you'd get JR or Jerry Lawler explaining that point. Like, oh, yeah, he doesn't want somebody that's just going to help them get the win, help them pick the stipulations. He wants to make it difficult for them to get it. And they didn't say that. But from there, Triple H says he can outthink Stone Cold Steve Austin. And the stipulations he has planned will blow Austin's mind if The Rock beats Rikishi. And he says, you need to get the job done. This is Triple H saying to The Rock, you need to get the job done and don't do anything stupid. So that's going to entice The Rock to come on out. So he heads out there. And The Rock asks Triple H if he said, don't do something stupid. And then Rock says, this, coming from a man who married the biggest slut in the Western Hemisphere. That's 2001 for you. Right there. The Rock says he guarantees he will win the WWF Championship and defend it at WrestleMania. You call yourself the Game. Let's talk about stipulations. And no, I'm not talking about the winner of the match gets 5 minutes with your wife. No, I'm not talking about that. Everybody's already had that. And there it goes. JV proving me wrong again with these promos. Heading to probably the most memorable Rock WrestleMania 17. Of course, he's on his fucking A game going into this WrestleMania, and I had to say something stupid like that.
Worst timing.
Yeah, god damn it. All right, so The Rock just wants Triple H to stop talking. If he does that, he will go get ready for the match and help Triple H and make sure that he wins the match. If he doesn't stop talking, he's going to go right out to that ring and kick his monkey ass. So Stephanie grabs the mic and she starts yapping her mouth. And The Rock's like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to go down there. So The Rock gets down to the ring, and then here comes Rikishi. And generally be like, oh, Rikishi sucks, but Rikishi was okay here. Rikishi says to The Rock, stop worrying. I'm glad I'm going to represent Austin. Because Austin knows I will never steer him wrong. This match will be a quick one. It'll be a regular hit and run. I'm ready to kick your ass into high gear. So Rikishi's making all these jokes, all these puns about his attack on Austin back at Survivor Series 99. So, good job, Rikishi, there. Good writing. He pulled it off that time. Usually he can come off pretty shitty. But that one worked, in my opinion. So from there now, we move on to the next part. Stone Cold's going to get involved. So let's take a listen to what Stone Cold has to say. Stone Cold's going to get down there and get in Triple H's face. So we'll take a listen to that, and then we'll be right back.
And The Rock is going to represent Triple H. They hate each other's guts. Austin and... Uh-oh, look out, wait a minute. Austin and the Game cannot touch each other.
Well, since you're having such a hard time understanding things, maybe you'll understand that right there. Rikishi, as far as you're concerned, you're one funny diaper-wearing son of a bitch.
Oh, my gosh. Rattlesnake, don't push these guys.
I know you think you can come out here making all your little jokes and Stone Cold Steve Austin is going to get all hot and bothered. That's not going to happen. What's going to get you shut up?
No.
What's happening right here tonight is you're representing Stone Cold Steve Austin. Normally, because of our past, I would want any man standing in this ring with you to whip your sorry ass all over the ring. But tonight, like I said, you represent Stone Cold Steve Austin. So the bottom line is you make all the little jokes you want. But Stone Cold Steve Austin is going to sit right there ringside and watch you do whatever it takes to do to get the job done. And when the match, look at me. And when the match is over, I'll be the first man in this ring with a beer, hand it to your little grubby paw, open it up, propose a toast, and give you a Stone Cold Stunner in front of the ring, and there ain't a damn thing you can do about it.
Wait a minute!
Hold on a second. You think you're just gonna sit right there ringside by yourself and watch this go down? I don't think so. I'm gonna be sitting right next to your ass, making sure he does what he needs to do. Good. And as far as you go, Rock, you better know your damn role. You understand me?
Oh, boy!
You better get the job done. Or else. And as far as Rikishi...
No! You're getting talked too much! You're getting done, all right? Hey, wait! And Rikishi from behind, now with The Rock! The Rock had only wanted to the game, and now the Rikishi... Who's going to face The Rock later tonight? Uh-oh, wait a minute. Stone Cold intervening. Remember, Austin in the game can't have any physical contact. Hey! And from behind came Rikishi. And a shot to Austin's face. The 400-pounder with a shot right to Austin's face. And look at Stone Cold and The Rock. They've been decimated by Rikishi and the game. Man, Rikishi just flattened the man he's going to represent. And is this a sign of things to come tonight? We expect the bizarre. We expect the unpredictable. And it's all live.
All right, so in Austin fashion, Austin heads down to the ring right away to Triple H and says, since you're having such a hard time understanding things, maybe you'll understand this right here. And then he gives the fingers, of course. And he says, Rikishi, as far as you're concerned, you are one funny diaper-wearing son of a bitch. I know you think you can come out here and make all your little jokes, and that'll get Stone Cold Steve Austin all hot and bothered. Well, what's coming and what's happening is you're representing Stone Cold Steve Austin. Normally, I would root for anyone to kick your ass, but tonight you represent Stone Cold Steve Austin, so make all the little jokes you want. Stone Cold is going to sit at ringside and watch you and make sure you do everything it takes to get the job done. And when the match is over, I will be the first one to give you a beer, put them in your little grubby little paws, open it up, propose a toast, and give you a Stone Cold Stunner. And there ain't a damn thing you can do about it.
I love how he tells him the plot of like every fucking the ending of every Raw, basically.
Right.
And you get in his way.
Yeah, no hidden secret. That's how it goes. If you watched Raw, if you watched the post-Raw shit, if you stuck around in the cameras and watched the cameras in the back, you saw that I always give somebody a beer and then give them a stunner. I'm just letting you know that's happening to you, and there's nothing you can do about it. That was great. And at that point, it's kind of a joke, and it's been a joke with us for a while, is that's what he always does. And even Triple H has kind of made it into a joke where he has the little routine with him where it's like, no, you're going to stun me. No. And Austin's like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that this time. So yeah, it's become like a Laurel and Hardy routine, a freaking Three Stooges type thing. Where it's just same joke over and over again. Nice little twist on it, though. So Rikishi looks at Austin and is like, huh? The fuck, man? Kind of like, hey, the hell? I'm going to try to help you, and you're saying you're going to kick my ass anyway. What the hell? Triple H says, you think you're just going to sit at ringside by yourself? I'm going to be sitting ringside right next to you and make sure he, as in The Rock, does what he needs to do. And I didn't think that was a big shock because last week, or just previous episode on SmackDown, Vince had said they're going to be at ringside to watch this match, being Stone Cold and Triple H. They're going to be in the corners watching the stipulation match. Granted, it's a different match, but you'd figure it would be the same thing. They're both going to be at ringside. So Triple H is making it seem like, oh yeah, well, you're going to be there, so am I. Yeah, we already know that. So there's that. Triple H warns The Rock, you better know your damn role, get the job done. At that point, The Rock's like, screw you. The Rock attacks Triple H and stomps away on him. Rikishi then hits The Rock. Rikishi leg drops The Rock. Austin just looks on, which is a smart move. Might as well just let them kick the shit out of each other. Triple H then starts to argue with Stone Cold, and Rikishi attacks Austin from behind and nails Austin with a savate kick. And Rikishi leaves, and Triple H stands over Austin and The Rock, just laughing as they're both beat down at that point. So we move on to some backstage segments.
Because, hey, this is his game, right?
Right. Yeah, that's his game that he's trying to play here. And it's all about trying to get his stipulations to play his game at No Way Out. So, yeah, that's what's going on here. And as we move on to some backstage segments, we have Triple H visiting Rikishi in the locker room. So this is kind of like the last time on SmackDown where Triple H visited Billy Gunn. And Triple H is going to ask Rikishi the same thing. I need you to lay down for me. I can get these stipulations and, just lay down for me. And Rikishi's like, nah, I'm not going to lay down for anybody. I've done you favors already. Did him a huge favor already. He fucking hit Austin with a car. So,
yeah.
like,
basically, like hired him for murder.
Right. I got you to where you are right now because Austin was out for over a year. So, yeah, you should be happy with that. I'm not going to lay down so you can get another title match while I get shit. Get nothing. So, no, I'm not going to do it. So, Triple H slaps him on the back just like he did with Billy Gunn. And this time is going to be a little different ending here. Triple H goes to grab, I think, a toolbox. Looks like a toolbox or some kind of briefcase. Looks like a drill kit, in my opinion. But he grabs
like
that.
a Sawzall case or something.
Right, yeah. So he grabs that, and then as he's about to go whack Rikishi with it, just like he whacked Billy Gunn with the fire extinguisher, there's a door between the two, and the door opens, and it's Haku. Haku opens the door, and then Triple H notices, and Haku's like, basically like, what's up, brother? and and Triple H is like, nothing. And then he runs away, basically, and just backs off. Ah, fuck it. Damn. That didn't work this time. So, Haku prevented the attack there on Rikishi. And, JV, you had something to say about that, right? The legend of Haku?
Yeah, like, he shows up and it's like, yeah, no one wants to fuck with Haku.
Right.
But he's never actually done, like, anything in the ring from, like, a character perspective to justify his toughness backstage.
Right.
But it's like, he just shows up at Triple H. He's like, whoa. Yeah,
right.
They just play into, like, that lore. You don't fuck with Haku.
Exactly. Yeah, you have, like, the top guy, the guy that's supposed to be, like, the top badass as a heel, and he's just backing down to this mid-carder, Haku, but it's a nod to the audience that knows, like, the stories of, they'll fuck you up. But yeah, awesome.
Yeah, it's just
Cool
weird because you look at him, you look at Haku, and you're like, is he really that tough? Yeah.
I think at this point, 2001, he looks pretty damn tough. But if you look at him back in 1989, it's like, he doesn't look that tough. He doesn't look that big either. But, hey, you don't need to be big to kick somebody's ass. So.
True.
All right, so from there we move on, and Austin's going to confront Mr. McMahon again backstage with what's going on here. And this is, I'm not going to say it's horrible, but it's not Austin on point here. And it's worth listening to see if you can pick out where he fucks up. So take a listen to this. Austin confronting Vince McMahon. We'll be right back.
Before what? I had no idea you were coming down there. I mean, you must control yourself.
Hey, I guess you think that's pretty cute, making
Well, okay, well, just because, we do our thing.
making the man that ran me down with a car represent Stone Cold Steve Austin. You think that's pretty cute, don't you? Well, since you do, what if I make a little stipulation that the winner of my match ties a chain around them grapefruits of yours, hooks it to the back of a monster truck, and yanks those little bastards right off your little carcass?
My gosh! Next time, well, I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, in WWF New York tonight.
All right, so Austin heads into McMahon's room, and he asks him, you think it's cute? You think it's cute that you made jeez. Then so Austin slaps his knee. The man that ran me down with the car to be my representative. You think that's real cute, huh? In my, who knows? Maybe it's written this way, but I just felt like Austin forgot Rikishi's name. Because he might not go by Rikishi backstage.
Right.
You know what
Probably
I mean?
goes by his real name backstage, right?
Right. Or like they call him Junior generally from what I know is he's called Junior backstage. And he could call him Junior usually, or he may even still call him Fatu. So and now he has this other name and Austin's like can't remember it. Like, what the fuck? What's his real name right now? What's his? It's like, fuck, the guy that ran me over with the car. So from there, Austin says the stipulation should be, the winner of my match will be Vince, and he's gonna get his grapefruits tied. Grapefruits, they brought that back. It's been a while since we heard that. Grapefruits. Vince gets his grapefruits tied to a chain, connected to a monster truck, and then that monster truck's going to yank those little bastards right off his little carcass. That was pretty good. But what I was saying is that I think this is one of the worst segments because of how badly Austin messed up in the beginning. Like, he's usually...
Right, which is...
He usually won't screw that up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually doesn't forget somebody's name.
It's such a simple mistake for him. Yeah.
Right. But, yeah, there's been a lot worse, but... Austin's nearly
so that's how high
perfect.
of a standard, that's how high on a pedestal we put Stone Cold. Like something like this is probably really good for a lot of wrestlers. But for him, because, he's perfect usually, the gaffe really sticks out.
Right. And we know it's a gaffe. Or at least it should be a gaffe. But he recovered well, I think. In that he went with, the man that ran me down with the car, because that could make sense with his character too, to be like, I don't even fucking remember who that guy is. And just the guy that hit me, that fucking guy that's not important that hit me. Oh, who knows? Maybe Austin himself was making a fucking like a rib on Rikishi, not to say his name. It could be various situations, but it does seem like not out of character.
Didn't want to give him that benefit of name dropping him.
And the thing that tipped me off to it really though was at the beginning where he goes, jeez. And you can see McMahon's face. And McMahon seems kind of panicked that Austin doesn't know what to say. So McMahon does start talking, but Austin cuts him off right away and says, the man that ran me over with the car. And McMahon looked like he was trying to save the promo. And then Austin fucking jumped right back in and fixed it. So, interesting promo there. And that'll bring us now to the match. It's the stipulation match. It's The Rock versus Rikishi. And what we have here is The Rock getting down there. And Triple H is his rep. And Rikishi's Stone Cold's rep. The Rock punches Triple H off the apron right at the beginning of the match. So The Rock knocks out his own rep. That's Triple H. He's representing Triple H, rather. So he knocks him out. The Rock and Rikishi start the brawl. Triple H confronts Rikishi. They begin to argue, and they begin to fight with each other. Triple H whips Rikishi into the Rock, and then over the guardrail onto the cement. Rock and Rikishi take it back into the ring, and Austin hasn't been involved at all. He's just laying back, not getting involved. And the Rock clotheslines Rikishi twice, and they do that super clothesline. It's being called at this point like an inside-out clothesline. He just turned them inside out. And that's that great spot. And I've mentioned it before where Rikishi basically flips over.
Which is wild. I didn't know what you meant by that in the notes, but I saw it happen. Like, it's got to mean that.
Yeah, he gets clothesline and he just fucking takes a spin drop on his back. Like, how athletic is that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, in the moment, like, you have this clothesline motion coming to you, and you yourself, you have to do that flip on your own because you're not really being flipped over. You're flipping yourself.
Yeah.
You're doing that there on that low of an area too. How many times have you been afraid to flip off a fucking diving board or flip into a pool or flip off a trampoline? And Rikishi, nearly 400 something pounds, is just doing that in a second. How fucking athletic is that? God
Yeah,
damn.
most of the time I'm afraid to do a flip off a diving board.
Yeah, I'll fucking nail my head on the diving board.
Yeah, exactly.
This guy's taking a simple clothesline and turning it into that to make it look way better. It's fucking great. It's a great spot. Rikishi, doing it for the people. All right. So, just want to give my Rikishi props there for that inside-out clothesline. All right, so from there, Steph is going to distract Earl Hebner. Triple H gets into the ring and lays out the Rock and lays onto Rikishi. And Austin's going to sneak in and roll Rikishi onto Triple H. So we're going to get a little twisted-turvy there and try to get the cover. Earl makes the cover, but the Rock's going to kick out. Triple H and Austin begin to yap at each other outside of the ring. Stephanie gets between the two of them so that they don't touch each other. Then Stephanie's going to slap Austin in the face with nearly a minute left to go. Austin goes for Steph, but Triple H gets in his way. Triple H says, "You can't touch me, jerk." And then inside the ring, The Rock hits the rock bottom on Rikishi and wins the match. Triple H earns the right to choose the stipulation for the match at No Way Out. So it all worked out in his favor. And he was the one that had he had it all in his favor, basically. He had Stephanie at ringside to cause distractions, and so it all worked out for him, of course. And Triple H raises the hand of The Rock at the end of the match, which I thought was funny because The Rock whips it down right away. Like, bullshit, you're not raising my hand. And then Rikishi sneaks up and attacks The Rock from behind. And then Triple H and Rikishi double team Triple H. And then Austin looks on from the ramp. Austin eventually realizes, that's enough. Austin runs down, starts punching away on Rikishi, and hits the Stone Cold Stunner. And then Triple H and Stone Cold go nose to nose as the show ends. And a nice little stare down. And the question is, what will the stipulation be? So that now brings us to SmackDown 77 from February 15th, 2001. This is in Uniondale, New York. And here's another example. They're not going to use Uniondale, New York as the graphic of where they are. Instead of Uniondale, New York, they choose Long Island, New York. So they just choose a geographic regional term instead of an actual town or city. It's like saying, "Oh, we're in Fall River, Massachusetts." No, actually, we're in New England.
Yeah.
We're just in New England, or we're in Massachusetts.
We're in South Coast, Massachusetts.
Yeah. Southeastern Massachusetts. This raw. Because we don't want to say Fall River, Massachusetts. All right. So anyway, they're in Long Island, and it was taped on February 13th, 2001. And we kick off with the promo, and it's the stipulation announcement. So here we go. We get to the Sinister Stipulation. What is Triple H going to choose for this No Way Out match? And let's take a listen to this. This was a rather long one. This is the longest promo of this episode. So take a listen to that, and we'll be right back in about 7 minutes.
Oh, no.
But that's not why we're out here, is it, Vince? Let's talk about why we're out here. Let's talk about me and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, yeah, that's why we're here. Give us the stips. What's the stipulation?
You know, I've been thinking about this now for quite a while. How can I come up with a match that would encompass all the emotion between Austin and myself? I mean, and that emotion runs on a lot of different levels for both of us. The hatred runs deep. The competition runs deep. But I think I've figured out a way that I can work all of this out. You know, on one hand, I would like nothing better than to just get in the ring with Austin one-on-one, man on man, just me and him, and just prove to him once and for all that I am better than he is, just to defeat Stone Cold Steve Austin.
It's not as simple as that, is it?
On the other hand, I would like nothing better than to beat the living hell out of Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, here we go.
To bloody his ass and to finish him once and for all.
Ooh.
So I thought about it, and I think I've come up with a pretty good solution.
Oh, boy.
And since the stipulation is mine to make, this is the way it's gonna be.
Oh, here goes. Look at Vince.
2 out of 3 falls, Austin. But unlike any other 2 out of 3 falls match you've ever been in or heard of. You see, Austin, the first fall will be about pride.
Pride?
The first fall will be you and me, Austin, one-on-one, man on man. Just you, me, and a referee. No excuses. Just me and you.
Oh, that's
Austin, in the first fall, straight up, I will break your spirit by defeating you. After I break your spirit, Austin, we go.
Well, King, as far as we know, Stone Cold isn't here yet. Too bad he can't hear this. And the crowd chanting for the rattlesnake.
I think Triple H wants to prove in that first fall that he's just plain and simple the better wrestler than Stone Cold Steve Austin is. That's what he's talking about, pride.
Well, it sounds like that, King. It's all about pride.
Yeah, and you can bet your ass I want Austin too.
Oh,
and
boy.
This is what it's all about. First fall, Austin, I break your spirit. Second fall, I break your bones.
Ooh.
You see, Austin, second fall, street fight.
Whoa.
Oh, street fight, second fall.
No disqualification, no rules. Anything goes. The object, beat the living hell out of the other man.
Oh, that's going to be ugly, Michael.
Now, some of you might be thinking, Triple H, that's not very smart. Austin's pretty tough. Austin can brawl with the best of them. Well, let me remind you just who the hell I am.
Oh, boy, here it goes.
I am the man that a little over 1 year ago destroyed the King of the Death Match. I am the man that 1 year ago destroyed the Hardcore Legend.
Yep,
I am the man that destroyed the almighty Cactus Jack.
Whoa, he did.
Well, he did do that, King.
Because I am the man that in a street fight destroyed, beat, and retired your very own Mick Foley.
That's right. We're right here in Mick Foley's hometown.
Mick Foley from Long Island.
It was a
But
great
I'm
night,
not
too.
discrediting Austin at all. Because I know better than anybody that Austin is one tough son of a bitch. And Austin can go with the best of them. So just in case, Austin, somehow you would get lucky enough to squeak through one of those first 2 falls, the third fall will truly be no way out.
What's he mean by that?
Austin, what is left of the two of us will stand in this very ring as they lower around us a steel cage.
A steel cage? King, they'll kill each other.
And Austin, inside that cage, we will finish the game. Austin, inside that steel cage, I will destroy you. I will beat you. It will be done. And Austin, you will be finished. 2 men will enter, and only one will leave. And that man will be, without a shadow of a doubt, the best. Austin, 10 days. And for you, there truly is no way out.
There's Triple H, nobody's getting into, King.
What do you mean? Of course he does. He came up with these stipulations.
And to test the mettle of the wrestling skill of Stone Cold Steve Austin here tonight, in this very ring,
Tonight?
Austin will go one-on-one with a man who claims to be the best damn technical wrestler in the WWF today, Chris Benoit.
Austin Benoit here tonight.
And one other thing, to show his appreciation, so that you don't believe in any way that my son-in-law Triple H is an ingrate, to show his appreciation for what The Rock did for him last Monday on Raw, here in this ring tonight, Triple H has demanded, and in fact it will happen, Triple H goes one-on-one with The Rock.
Whoa. Triple H and The Rock here tonight. Austin Benoit.
What a night!
Oh yeah, you can applaud now, but let me show you what's going to happen after the end of the match tonight, as well as at the end of the match at No Way Out. The very same thing will happen.
Oh! Tonight, King of SmackDown!
All right, so Triple H is introduced by McMahon, and Triple H doesn't want to talk about Vince's issues with Stephanie, Trish, or Linda, and we'll get more into that soon. But Triple H wants to talk about the stipulations for his match against Stone Cold Steve Austin. Vince's face as Triple H is about to announce the stipulation is so funny. He looks so intrigued, like, what's going to happen? There's an image, and I almost used it for the cover art that we're going to put up, but I went with something different. But the look on his face is funny. If you go to this episode on the network, the picture that they have is that look. It's Triple H talking on the mic, and then Vince's face behind him, like, ooh. And he's all excited because Triple H says that it's going to be a 2 out of 3 falls match. So that's the stipulation that Triple H has decided on, 2 out of 3 falls match. But it won't be just that. Okay, it's not going to be Ric Flair versus Ricky Steamboat style 2 out of 3 falls match. It's going to be a little different than that. It's going to be 2001 2 out of 3 falls match. And that is where the first fall, it'll be about pride. Me, you, and the referee, Triple H says. So traditional style match is the first fall. Triple H says he will break Austin's spirit in that first match. Then the crowd chants for Austin. Says you can bet your ass that I want Austin too. So Triple H does some good comebacks with the crowd. He's learning to work with the crowd. So we want Austin. Yeah, I want his ass too. Then he goes on to explain the second fall. Second fall, I'll break your bones. I will break your bones. In the second fall. All right, so the second fall will be a street fight. No DQ, unless Earl Hebner is the referee. No rules. Anything goes. The goal is to beat the living hell out of each other. Then Triple H goes on to remind the audience that he's the best at street fights. I destroyed Cactus Jack. And they're in Long Island. So Mick Foley's from Long Island. And Mick Foley has been referenced on these episodes because he's about to make a return soon. So it's fitting that Mick Foley comes up here in this segment because they're anticipating his return soon. And then from there, Triple H says the third fall will be No Way Out, which is fitting because that's the name of the pay-per-view. And it will be a steel cage match, so that's perfect. No Way Out. No Way Out should always have a steel cage match, it seems like.
Yeah, it's the whole point.
Right. No Way Out.
Just be trapped.
All right. I mean, I can understand people that may disagree with that. I see their point is that you shouldn't really pigeonhole pay-per-views because then you get matches that don't really mean anything sometimes. You know what I mean? Like if it's Money in the Bank time. Money in the Bank makes sense because that's just like a title opportunity. But Hell in a Cell doesn't make sense to have that every year because why all of a sudden now do they need to be fighting in the cage in the Hell in a Cell? Like if their feud didn't build to that. So I can understand that logic. So yeah, whatever. But No Way Out works here because these guys have been feuding. Stone Cold and Triple H. This is perfect. You know, this is kind of the culmination of their feud is for the pay-per-view right before WrestleMania, kind of ending their feud at this point. And it's 2 out of 3 falls for the third fall to be the cage match. That kind of makes sense, especially being named No Way Out. So that'll be the third fall. And then Triple H says, Austin, for you, there is truly no way out. Vince McMahon takes the mic and announces that Austin will face Chris Benoit tonight. And Triple H will face The Rock. And as requested by Triple H, that match will happen. Vince raises the hand of Triple H saying he will beat The Rock tonight. And then he will also beat Austin at No Way Out. So Vince McMahon has his chips pushed in for Triple H in both of these matches, which doesn't make sense with what his character has been over the past month and a half, where he's all about fairness. Now he's choosing sides? The fuck is that? He's kind of been down the middle. Now he's just like, yeah, Triple H is going to win. Like, when were you against Austin? You haven't been against Austin lately? That doesn't make any sense.
Nope.
All right, so move on from there. And we get an interview with hard-hitting Kevin Kelly with Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's very brief, so take a listen. We'll be right back.
Here we go. It's Austin.
Stone Cold, I was wondering if you're aware of a couple of situations that are brewing here tonight. First, the fact that you're going to be taking on Chris Benoit. Not only that, are you aware of the stipulations that Triple H has put in place for your matchup at No Way Out?
What the hell are the stipulations?
Well, it's going to be a 2 out of 3 fall match. First fall, one-on-one. Second fall is going to be a street fight. And if necessary, the third fall will be inside a steel cage.
He's smiling. He likes it.
All right, so as Austin enters the building, Kevin Kelly's going to go up to Austin and ask him if he's aware of the match with Chris Benoit and Triple H and the stipulations with Triple H at No Way Out. And Austin has no idea about it. Austin says, what the hell are the stipulations? And Kevin Kelly tells Austin about the 2 out of 3 falls match and all the stipulations in regards to that. Austin smiles and laughs, and he walks off. And then Lawler's like, Jerry Lawler on commentary is like, he's smiling. He likes it. And basically, no, he doesn't like it. But when Austin smiles like that, he means, oh, fuck off. Somebody's getting their ass kicked. That's what he means. So Austin does have his match with Chris Benoit. And that match kicks off at 35 minutes and 26 seconds and goes to about 44 minutes and 50 seconds. And earlier in the night, Chris Benoit gave a big dickhead promo to Lillian Garcia about being the best damn technical wrestler there is. I just had to point that out because if you go back to this episode and you see that promo, Chris Benoit is a fucking asshole in that promo. And that's his thing, I guess.
Yeah, he is. I went back and watched it. Lillian almost looks like genuinely like thrown off by
how asshole.
How aggressive he is. Right. Yeah, he's like very aggressive.
It's like, why are you being so mean to me? Like, the fuck? This is supposed to be just a regular thing. Like, you're way off here. It's just like his gimmick, I guess, ever since beating up Lita. Is that just to be a shithead to women? I don't know. I guess I'm just influenced by the future. I don't know. So we move on from there, and Austin walks out, and he's looking like a fucking $1 million, I thought for this match. He's heading out there. He looks like he's ready for WrestleMania. He's got the leather vest on. He's fully ready to go. And I'm just used to seeing him in jean shorts and a t-shirt. When he comes out for this match, he's ready to go. And we got Tim White as the referee. So it's no Earl Hebner because this match is kicking off at 35 minutes into the show. So it's like a mid-card match. So Tim White's there, not Earl Hebner. So hopefully I don't have to talk any shit about Tim White. I'm going to feel bad. But he's out there again. It's been a while. Tim White was Stone Cold's ref for a while back in 96, 97 until he hit the main event stage in 98 and had to deal with Earl Hebner since then. So we get into the match and we begin with a tie-up. Austin punches Benoit into the corner and then starts to stomp a mud hole into Benoit. Benoit chops away on Austin, and he's just doing like Ric Flair chops. And this is the first time that I noticed. I don't know about you, JV.
Me too. No, I don't think we've noticed it since we started covering this career of Stone Cold.
Right. So at this point here in February 2001, the crowd is now doing Ric Flair woo chops every time there's a chance rather every time there's a chop. That's new. We haven't heard that at all. And
no.
I guess I don't know where that comes from. I guess they did it obviously in WCW, right? And at this point, it must have been. It must have been.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would imagine they would have been doing it there. But at this point in 2001, we're only a month away from WWF taking over WCW.
Taking over. And this is a hot crowd. This crowd in Uniondale, New York.
Yeah. Long Island.
Is Long Island. Really.
Yeah.
But there's a hot crowd. So, and they're also apparently a smart crowd.
Yep.
But this is the first I've heard the woos from the crowd. Maybe they were just very light and we hadn't heard it, but they're loud. Like the crowd's making themselves known,
big time.
In this match particularly.
Yeah, it's audible. Yeah, it's definitely the first time it's noticeable on WWF television at this point. So yeah, so that stood out to me. So Austin's gonna fight back from those chops and nail Benoit with a clothesline from behind. This is followed by some stomps and a couple of suplexes, a leg drop, and a leg drop off the second rope. Austin goes for a stunner quickly, but Benoit's gonna counter and try to go for the crossface and applies the crossface, but Austin makes it to the ropes, and then he's going to get broken up by the ref, and then Benoit's going to start to stomp on Austin to try to continue adding some damage to him. And then moments later, Stone Cold's going to fight back and get a cripple crossface style move. Not exactly the same thing, but pretty close.
STF.
And yeah, you're right. STF. Good.
I think that's what Lala or JR says it.
Do they say it?
Yeah.
All right, so from there, at that point, Triple H heads down to the ring, and I like how he came out with no music, because that'll be a problem that they have going forward, is that whenever somebody makes an entrance during a match, they're going to play music. So at this point, they're still not playing the music, even if it's a big star.
This reminds me of when he comes down, just like how, because it's so mute and there's no music, like when you're playing a video game, playing the story mode of any wrestling video game.
Yeah.
And someone interferes in your match and they just come down and the crowd's the crowd cheers, or the crowd reaction just didn't seem in sync with Triple H coming down with no music. So I don't know. It was funny to me. This feels like SmackDown 2, which they're promoting at this time.
Maybe
the video game. So,
hey, maybe this is what led them to say, we got to play the music or we're going to get no crowd pop.
Yeah.
Because in reality, though, the audience, as great and into it they are, they're not totally into it like people would become over the years of anticipating somebody coming down. So when Triple H comes down, they're not even paying attention to it. They're not even looking for it because they're just happy with the action in it. So like, oh shit, these people aren't paying attention to anybody walking down anymore. So we gotta give them music. We gotta cue them. We gotta cue them up here. Or it could just be that the audience is so loud that it's not like 1995 where if the audience gets loud, people start to look like, huh, what the fuck's happening? Like the audience is loud basically all the time in that match. It's like, ah, shit. In a main event match like this, we gotta play music because nobody can hear the difference in the crowd. So yeah, that could be that. All right, so let me move on from there. Austin slams Benoit's legs onto the ring apron. Benoit kicks Austin off and into the announce table. And then Benoit's going to clothesline Austin into the booth. They both get back into the ring moments later. Benoit goes for the flying headbutt. He nails it. And Triple H is looking on laughing and smiling like Austin's getting his ass kicked. Austin rolls up Benoit moments after that. But Tim White, I have to say it. Sorry. I knew I was going to have to say it. Tim White has become Earl Hebner. He acts like he's distracted by Triple H at this point. Benoit tosses Austin into the ring post and out of the ring. Triple H then grabs a steel chair, slides it into the ring for Benoit. Triple H continues to distract Tim White. Benoit gets Austin into the ring. Benoit grabs the chair, but Austin fights off Chris Benoit and then hits the Stone Cold Stunner. So thankfully, Austin was able to fight back from all these disadvantages that he had from the incompetence of Tim White. Tim White does make the 3 count for him. Austin gets the win at 43 minutes. Whew. Tim White, at least you got the job done in the end. And you didn't try to yell at Austin. So I still have respect for you. But Austin gets the win there. Decent match for what's going on storyline-wise. Chris Benoit is still going to kind of sneak his way into storylines going forward. So we'll have more of that in just a moment. But he's hanging in there. This was a good match between the two of them, I thought. Not as good as the last one because the last one was that we covered a few weeks back was a damn solid wrestling match. But this match is more tied to the Triple H storyline. So we're not going to get a match that's really just focused on Benoit and Austin like we did a few weeks back. But good match nonetheless. All right, so we move on from there as Triple H is pissed off with the outcome of that match because he wasn't able to screw Austin. But we have a quick little interview with The Rock. And The Rock, as I said, is just continuing to prove me wrong with my stupid Arn Anderson pick over him. Okay. So, The Rock makes Kevin Kelly pick his nose in a promo. Meanwhile, calling him Hermie. Put that finger back in your nose, Hermie. That goes back to a while ago when he was calling him a hermaphrodite. And now his nickname's fucking Hermie. So he continued on just calling him Hermie. He never calls him a hermaphrodite again. I'm pretty sure. But the name Hermie has stuck at this point. So even if you can't even say that he's calling him a hermaphrodite if you never heard the original one. You're just like, why the fuck is this guy called Hermie? He's just Hermie, that's his nickname. So, sly move there to go on with the Hermie nickname. And The Rock tells Kurt Angle, though, that the clock is ticking, tick-tock, tick-tock, and he will win the title and then defend it at WrestleMania. So, good promo there. Quick little promo. Actually, it's 3 minutes, but I kind of briefed it up there. And then we move on now to the main event. And The Rock is going to go up against Triple H. We just had Triple H trying to screw Stone Cold Steve Austin. And Austin says, oh, yeah, tried to screw me. Well, I won my match, and I'm going to come out for yours. So Austin comes out to do ringside commentary during this Triple H and Rock match. And what a main event you have here. Triple H versus The Rock. Stone Cold Steve Austin on commentary here. And this match kicks off at 1 hour 21 minutes. It's going to go duration to 1 hour 31 minutes. So Austin heads on out there, having a grand old time. And The Rock and Triple H make their entrances, and the brawling begins right from there. And Stone Cold wants to just he wants them to beat the hell out of each other. That's all he's hoping for. He says, I'm going to wait until the two out of 3 falls match, and I'm going to beat Triple H's long-haired, bodybuilding, jacked-up ass up. I just love that, how he just went on that. And then he continues on from there. He says, I'm going to take his nose and stomp it from one side of the ring to the other side of the ring in this no holds barred match. So a lot of this match is mainly just hyping up Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Triple H. And that's what the commentary is centering around, even though you have these two great competitors, in the ring. Two big characters. I don't want to say great, but two big stars at this time in the ring. And it's all about Stone Cold and Triple H, really. So The Rock and Triple H have some good action going on here. The Rock gets a shitty-ass sharpshooter on. And we've talked about this before, but, for new listeners, the sharpshooter that The Rock has sucks, asshole. JV,
Yeah, bottom 10 all time.
Yeah, how would you describe this sharpshooter?
Bottom 10 all time.
Bottom
Just bad.
10, bottom 10 sharpshooter all time. Yeah, so it's like a stand-up sharpshooter. Like Bret Hart, he's like nice and compact with it. The Rock is all like tall and long legs, trying to do the sharpshooter. This looks like shit. So The Rock gets that on there, and Triple H grabs the ropes to break the hold, but The Rock pulls him back. He does the little swingy thing where he's got the legs. Triple H is holding on to the ropes, and The Rock is going to swing him off the ropes and flat back bump him into the middle of the ring and then set him up for another sharpshooter. He does, but Triple H kicks off, and that knocks Earl Hebner, who's the referee in this match, of course. Earl Hebner takes a bump outside of the ring. At that point, Kurt Angle's going to run down and hit The Rock with the WWF Championship belt. Kurt Angle's going to grab Earl Hebner to get him back in the ring so that he can make the 3 count. But Austin has had enough at ringside. He gets up. He starts beating on Kurt Angle. In the ring, Triple H hits the pedigree on The Rock. Then Austin goes to Earl. Tends to him to check on him. Earl says his back is hurt. And Triple H yells at Austin to get the ref back in the ring. Austin says Earl's hurt. Triple H goes to hit another pedigree on The Rock, but The Rock is ready and counters with the Rock Bottom. Austin at that point rolls Earl back into the ring. Earl starts to make the count, but Kurt Angle runs in to break that count. Austin gets in the ring, punches and stomps a mud hole on Angle. Chris Benoit runs in at this point to attack Austin. Just to rewind for a second, Earl Hebner Earl Hebner is getting knocked out of the ring. And why is Austin checking on him? Why is he checking on him? He's been an asshole to you. He's been an asshole to Austin for so long. Just last week, get back in the corner. Get back in the corner. Now Austin cares about helping Earl out. Fucking bullshit. So anyway, we get back to it now. And we have the heels down in the ring now. Chris Benoit's there. Chris Benoit attacks Austin. The Rock's going to try to go for Kurt Angle, but Triple H knocks down The Rock. Angle's going to get the angle lock on The Rock. Benoit gets the crippled crossface on Stone Cold. And then Triple H looks on in all his glory as they're both down. The Rock's down. Austin's down. Both in hold by Angle and Benoit. And then Triple H is going to grab one of those Budweisers or Bud Heavies, as JV hates to hear. Crack it open. pour it down his mouth, spit it out like it's his water in his entrance, then get down on his knees and get into Austin's face and just pour beer all over his fucking head, and then spit it in his face as the show ends. As we head out, Austin and The Rock are both being dominated here. We're on the way to No Way Out. There's just two go-home shows away. It's Raw, SmackDown, and then No Way Out. And that's what we'll be covering next week. JV, what'd you think of this final little segment there with the pouring of the beer, spitting in the face of Austin?
Well, it's kind of payback for Triple H here, because the previous episode is Austin kind of getting the beer dumped on Triple H. So it's kind of Triple H returning the favor.
Exactly. Yeah, so it works perfectly. Good shit there. So next week we'll be back with that. And it'll be the 3 stages of hell. So I do want to tell you before we go into a slight little break here is that we will not have the Attitude Era update this week because we're going to do it like we did the last pay-per-view with Royal Rumble where we talked about the Attitude Era update that led to the matches of the pay-per-view. So since we're covering No Way Out next week, we'll save the Attitude Era update to build to those undercard matches for the No Way Out pay-per-view. So we will not have the Attitude Era update for that reason. So bear with us for that. And that seemed to work last time. It's nice to build those pay-per-view matches just before going over them. So that's what we'll do next week. And we're going to take a quick little break and we'll be back with the bottom line wrap-up. So take a listen to Talking Taker and we'll be back in just a moment.
What's up, Rattlesnakes? This is Alex Dorio, one half of the Talking Taker podcast. And even though Stone Cold might say DTA, don't trust anybody, we hope you'll trust us when we say if you love the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast, you'll also enjoy what we're doing over on Talking Taker. Each week, my lifelong wrestling buddy and fellow creature of the night, Mr. Travis White, and I explore one pay-per-view match in the career of the greatest professional wrestling character of all time, The Undertaker. We're right in the heart of the Deadman's second coming in the late 2000s. But we've got over 125 episodes, so you can jump in from the beginning or pick and choose from some of your favorite moments, including every single Undertaker versus Stone Cold Steve Austin match analyzed in detail, including a great crossover episode with our buddies here at the Bottom Line Cast. You can listen to us wherever podcasts are found, and you can follow along our journey at Talking Taker on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thanks to Mike and JV for letting us plug the show, and take her easy.
All right, we're back now for the bottom line wrap-up, and let's start with the house show rundown. There are a few shows that happened during this time period, and we'll start with February 10th, 2001 from St. Paul, Minneapolis, and it's Steve Austin, The Undertaker, and Kane, and they defeat Triple H and Rikishi, along with Haku. And this match ended with Kane pinning Rikishi with a chokeslam. The next night, in Boston, Massachusetts, February 11th, same match. Actually, slightly different, actually. So it's Austin, The Undertaker, and The Rock, rather than Kane. Oh, actually, no, it's a 4-way match. Sorry. Austin, Undertaker, Rock, and Kane defeat Triple H, Benoit, Rikishi, and Haku. Man, they fucking loaded that match up. So you get a slightly different finish. You get The Rock pinning Benoit with the Rock Bottom. And then we go to Cedar Falls the next week on February 17th. That's Iowa. Steve Austin, Kane, Undertaker defeat Triple H, Rikishi, and Haku when Undertaker pins Haku with a chokeslam. Then the next night in Evansville, Indiana, February 18th, Steve Austin, Kane, and Undertaker defeat Triple H, Rikishi, and Haku. So, basically the same match, just a little bit of twist there and here and there. Not much different than last week's house show rundown, where it's basically the same match, just a couple other people popping in and out there. But same people that have been working with each other on Raw and SmackDown, so that makes sense. Alright, so let's now go on to our Oh Hell Yeah moment of the week. JV, what do you got for oh hell yeah moment?
Well, it's rare that I don't pick Stone Cold as a hell yeah moment, but I don't think I can tonight. I think I'm going to go with Kurt Angle's promo on the first episode of Raw we covered. It's just everything you want to see in a promo. It's wordy, it's animated, and it just, really kind of mocks his opponents the best way that you really can. Not mocks, but makes fun of them, I guess, pokes fun at them and takes shots at their intelligence. So, and it's really one of Kurt Angle's best promos to date. So, my oh hell yeah moment's going to Kurt Angle this week.
Hey, I have to agree with you. That was the thing that got me the most. Is that
Same here.
That whole you pointing at you can't beat me. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Like it's great. Just it was fucking. That's oh hell yeah. That was classic. That was great.
Yeah.
It's like
It
you
also
said,
didn't do anything that really stood out this episode. So
no, nothing crazy.
yeah.
No, he kind of got his just due a lot of the times.
Yeah.
I mean, he had that one situation where he poured beer on Triple H, but that's nothing special. I'm gonna, I totally agree with you. So I'm good with that.
Oh, hell no!
So let's move on to the oh hell no moment of the week, and I'll go first. And if you noticed my tone of voice when it came up is Earl Hebner, and I don't think out of all these times, I don't think I've ever given Earl Hebner the hell no.
Yeah, you have.
I have. I feel like I
at
just
least
bring him up.
once.
All right.
No, like one of the first times you started ranting about him, you definitely got your hell no moment. Because I think I agreed with you and gave him the hell no moment that episode too.
Okay, that sounds about right. But yeah, I have to give it to him again.
But it's not often. I think it's at least one time, maybe two tops, but which isn't, considering your hatred for him, is not that bad.
This one just stood out though because it was supposed to be a no DQ match, and he's trying to create order in a no DQ match. He's making sure that people aren't coming in the ring. It's a tag team match, and he's trying to make sure people don't come into the ring when they're not supposed to. But there is no such thing as not supposed to in a no DQ match.
Yeah, it's just no DQ.
So what the hell are you bitching about? And that's the thing that is a gripe with me always, is that he's bitching about stuff that doesn't matter. It's like he's just bitching to bitch. It's like, don't even like. There was another instance, I didn't even bring it up, but when Stone Cold's on commentary during that Triple H match, Triple H and The Rock, he's on commentary there. Earl Hebner even goes outside of the ring to yell at Austin to not get up from commentary. Tells him to sit down. Sit down. Sit down. What the fuck? He's not even in the match. Shut the fuck up and get back in the ring and do your job. So yeah, fuck Earl Hebner. Hell no of the week. What do you got, JV?
My oh hell no is The Rock's trash sharpshooter. Because we had to see it twice in the same match.
Oh my god! So, well, almost
that
twice.
Gets my oh hell no moment.
He almost got it on the second time, but he got kicked off.
That was good enough to suck.
Yeah, the fact that he couldn't even get it on, he got kicked off. Yeah,
Bret Hart would have got it off. Owen Hart would have got it off.
Goddamn shitty sharpshooter. All right, so those are the oh hell yeah and oh hell no moments of the week. And coming up on the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast next week, we continue on to No Way Out. As I just mentioned moments before, we'll do the Raw from February 19th and SmackDown from February 22nd. And then we will cover No Way Out in the 3 stages of hell match between Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H. And also we will tack on the Attitude Era update to those matches pertaining to No Way Out and the Undercard. Okay, so that'll be next week. But then in 2 weeks, we're going to take a slight little break from the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin and go back to the career of Stunning Steve Austin for our second episode in our special mini-series of the Hollywood Blondes. And we'll be covering the Hollywood Blondes' Chase for the Gold. We'll be covering January through April of 1993, where the Hollywood Blondes will eventually attain the tag team titles, the WCW tag team titles. So we last covered the Hollywood Blondes on our episode 1 back in early January, the New Year episode was Hollywood Blondes. So go back. If you haven't listened to it, check it out. If you did listen to it, check it out again to refresh your memory. Because in 2 weeks, we will bring you episode 2. And then from there, we are on to WrestleMania. So we will be building to WrestleMania. The road to WrestleMania will begin after that Hollywood Blonde episode and get to WrestleMania 17, The Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. So can't wait to see the build up to that. I know, JV, you're looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So before we get out of here, let's just give a few plugs for our podcast pals. And that is, of course, Talking Taker. And you can follow Talking Taker at Talking Taker on Twitter. And this past week on Talking Taker, they covered WrestleMania 25, The Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels. So check that out. And also they'll have a new episode coming out this Friday. So check them out at Talking Taker. Available on all podcast apps, of course. Also check out our friend Mike Mills, Doc Turner, Hardbody Hopper from Booking the Territory, the unprofessional wrestling podcast, where every week they are breaking down NWA World Championship Wrestling from Saturday nights. And this week is January 28th, 1989. Those episodes come out on Thursday. And on Sundays, they also drop the Smoky Mountain Wrestling Recap. And it's episode 199 from November 19th of 1995. And this is the second to last episode of Smoky Mountain Wrestling Recap. So check that out as they finish up their great venture in the Smoky Mountains. And also check out our Vantage Point with Joe Murata and Michael Quinn. This week is episode 180. It's the end of their season, season 17. And they are wrapping up the season with a fresh perspective on wrestling in general. Just what they thought of wrestling before and what they think now, and how their views have changed from being kids to being adults, and how wrestling is different. Basically, it's they were once smarks and now they're like, fuck being smarks. We just want to try to enjoy it. And check out their Royal Flush. It's their final week of the Royal Flush, and that is the worst WWF Tag Team Champions of all time. And they will rank Deuce and Domino in the Spirit Squad. Those are definitely two shitty-ass tag team champions. And they will also do a special review of WWF Superstars, the music video. And if you don't remember what that is the song where it goes, WrestleMania, pump it up, pump it up. oh. Yeah, it sucks. So take a listen to them. It's our Vantage Point, OVP, episode 180. Also, check out our friend Jay Free on Free Your Geek, where he is breaking down pop culture in all different areas, whether it's comic books, video games, TV shows, music, comic books. Jay Free is all over it, and check out his show. He's been at it for a while. He has over 90 episodes, so check out Free Your Geek with Jay Free. And you know Jay Free from our episodes, great host, and does great production value on his show, so check out Free Your Geek. And lastly, before we head out of here, JV and I also do the Extreme ECW live cast on the Booking the Territory Patreon tier at the $5 level. And this past week, we did episode 25, where we covered episodes 52 and 53 of ECW Hardcore TV from April 12th and April 19th of 1994. So check that out. Just give it a shot. Try it out for a month, and you could probably binge all the episodes in a month if you really wanted to. But I would say check it all out. There's a lot of good content on Booking the Territory Patreon. But join the $5 tier, because that's how you get our show. All right. So with that said, thanks guys for listening. I do want to mention one listener, give one shout out here. international listener from down under, from Australia. And I'll just call him Thomas Richard Harry. And he did have something to say. And he was wondering, JV, how come you never have any final words? Do you have any final words, JV?
Nope.
All right, so JV is the heel here. No final words? Thank you for listening, Thomas Richard Harry from the Down Under. Our international audience is strong. JV has no answer for you. And with that said, so long. See you next time. We're out of here.
And that's the bottom line. And as far as I'm concerned, this is over with, so get the hell out of here.
You're the next one, then I'm gonna kill you. Don't believe it, but I'm betting that you will. Stop, no, I'll let you live a little bit with the pain. And I'm praying, you know it's only the beginning. Stop breaking the limit inside you. Stop making some more behind you. I'm breaking the limit inside you. Stop making some more behind you. I'm breaking the limit inside you. Stop making some more behind you. I'm breaking the limit inside you. Stop running away, bring it on. You're the next one, then I'm gonna kill you. Don't believe it, but I'm betting that you will. Stop, no, I'll let you live a little bit with the pain. And I'm praying, you know it's only the beginning. Stop, cause you're the next one, then I'm gonna kill you. Don't believe it, but I'm betting that you will. Stop, no, I'll let you live a little bit with the pain. And I'm praying, you know it's only the beginning.